And there you have it. The markets are officially closed. Hello, investors and traders. I'm AJ Monte, and this is a daily candle chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF, DIA. If you can see very closely here, I have some lines behind these candles. Those are my price forecasts from last week. Last Friday's report, I said we would go down first to hit the downside target, and then I said we would most likely rebound. And I set an upside target on that with a forecast of the CCI down there pivoting higher. And as you can see, this was a three-part forecast because I had part one was the move lower, part two was the CCI pivoting higher, and then finally part three was the upside target. So we hit that upside target like a charm right there at $400.08. And before I put another forecast line on there, I have to tell you that tomorrow we have some economic data coming out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have the core retail sales numbers month over month, and then we have the retail sales and the unemployment claims. So this will most likely move the market. You could see that if you go to forexfactory.com, they have the forecast projections already logged into their site, and then right before 8:30 you'll see a little countdown clock show up in here where the world sits on the edge of their seat waiting for those numbers to come out. And for those of you who follow the futures markets, you'll see that the markets will probably move within minutes of these numbers coming out. So keep that in mind. I am not going to draw any lines on here until Friday. Now that all of our price targets have hit on the diamonds, I'm going to wait for that data to come out. And then on Friday, I'll make my projections and forecasts for next week. So stay tuned for that. IWM came close to hitting that upside target. And of course, we're not done yet. We still have another day or two to see whether or not that happens. But we're still shy of that. I have my upside target still in place at 211.35. You can see that the stochastic is crossed over the red line, which is the %D. But the CCI down there, you can see that we have a slight hinge to a horizontal move here. And so this, again, was a three-part forecast where I said we would go lower. We hit that downside price target of 203.82. Then we did get the pivot on the CCI down there. See that red line that's falling right behind the blue line there? That was my forecast from last Friday. Remember, none of these lines were here. When I do those forecasts, I'm projecting out into the space of the chart, which is the future, right? And so no one in the world, by the way, is going to give you forecasts like this, especially if it's a two-part or a three-part forecast. No one's going to even touch that. But we have a very strong percentage of accuracy. As many of you know, my percentage of accuracy is over 80% on my target hits. And tonight I'm going to be going over 60 stocks minimum in 60 minutes. So if you want to try out our 15-day free membership so you can jump into that webinar from 6 to 7 p.m. tonight, go right ahead. It's absolutely free. We do not take credit cards. I don't want this to sound like a commercial, folks. I am absolutely in love. If you haven't figured this one out already, I'm in love with teaching people how to read these charts. I want to level the playing field for the average investor to get a leg up over the institutions who are constantly manipulating the markets. So we don't play those games of, oh, hey, give me a credit card and it'll be up to you whether or not you want to cancel. We'll put that burden on your shoulders if you want to cancel. No, we do not do that. We don't take your credit card. We give you access to 15 days. If at the end of 15 days you like it and you're making money, then it's totally up to you if you want to continue. Absolutely no pressure. So that's IWM. I'm still keeping that upside target. If we look at the Qs, you can see right here as I zoom in, boom, we hit that target again like a champ. I had a two-part target here. I said downside target of 441.80. That hit. Then we pivoted right back up to the target of 458.49. We hit that, and we also filled that gap yesterday. Now, I suspect we're going to start dropping, but I'm not in the business of forecasting the economic data. I will forecast the charts. but the data can push the markets around. So I don't want to get ahead of that. I would rather react to it instead of trying to get ahead of it and predicting what the retail sales are going to be. I'd rather wait for that and then just make the trade according to how the money is flowing in or out of the market. So again, upside target on the Qs has hit right there. I'm leaning more to the downside on the Qs right there. All right, if we look at SPY, you can see that we hit that upside target. My downside target was a little bit different because I had the downside target set at this red line down here, and I left that in place. So we hit that downside target of 527.07. Then we went right back up and hit that target of 536.84 to the penny, filled the gap. Now we have what most closely resembles a hanging man on lower volume. So again, this is another one where I'm leaning to the downside, but I have to wait before I put out the price target. I'll do that absolutely on Friday. Now taking a look at the VIX, downside target and upside target was hit. We talked about that last Friday. Upside target was hit at 24.92. Then yesterday we came down, hit my downside target at 19.68. The oscillators are still moving lower, but I think we are on the brink of the VIX ripping higher. And I picked my words very carefully. When I say ripping higher, you could say that that's even synonymous with storming higher. I think the VIX is on the launch pad, ready to go as we come into September and October, which are the most notorious months of the year. You got to watch out. VIX tends to pop during those months, which if the VIX is inversely related, if the VIX is going up, then that means the general markets are most likely going to go down. Hopefully you had a chance to catch my chart of the week. Trying to do this at least once a week where I get a chart that looks bullish or bearish, give you some notes so you can learn a little bit about how I'm reading the charts and how I'm using my 7-point trading checklist. Hopefully you can catch me on X. And if you want to follow any of my trades, I'll put all the hashtags right here for you so you can follow along on X and stay tuned to my forecasts as I put them out. So that is it for this Wednesday, August 14th. Hope to see you on the Rapid Fire Stock Analysis session tonight from 6 to 7. Take care.